the shout out today is about stem cell donation. So you might kind of think, so why stem cell donation? What's that got to do with me or to do with the company or whatever? But it's a bit of a journey, really. So my wife, unfortunately, last year was diagnosed with leukemia, and she needs a stem cell transplant. And I knew nothing about stem cells. If you go back to June last year, I know nothing about stem cells. So through the process that I've gone through in the last 6 months, I've become very much aware of that, as you'd imagine, and just how easy it is and what an impact it can have on people's lives, and the fact that you can actually save people's lives. So I just wanted to really just spread a bit of awareness about what the systems are that they do, how it happens, why it's important, and what you can do to help. So I'm going to talk a little bit about DKMS, which is one of the largest stem cell charities and is registered and used by the NHS. But there are others. Picture of Caroline when we were at one of the awards nights a few years back. DKMS is an international not-for-profit organisation, and it's dedicated against the fight against blood cancer and blood disorders, and it creates awareness, and it also has a register of stem cell donors which people can contribute to, and of course you can also contribute in terms of donations, in terms of money towards what work they do. They have over 7.5 million donors registered, because they're across Europe as well as in the UK. They've enabled 19 life-saving blood cell donations worldwide each day, and that's 65,000 transplants that they've enabled to have. So quite a big operation. A little bit about blood cancer. It's the third most common cause of death in terms of cancers in the UK. Every 20 minutes in the UK, someone's diagnosed with some type of blood cancer. So unfortunately, my wife was one of those last year, so I know all about that in terms of whether that's leukemia, lymphoma, or myeloma. And around 2,000 people in the UK need a blood stem cell transplant each year. So what's it all about and how does it work? So in kind of true Blue Peter fashion, I have my kind of prop here. Basically, what you can do is two things. You can register to become a donor, and you do that by basically filling in a simple online form, and they'll send you a swab kit. You swab inside your mouth, pop that in the post, send it back to them. That's it, job done in terms of registering. If you were to then be matched with somebody, they would then do one of two things. There's two ways they can harvest the stem cells. The first one is what they call peripheral blood stem cell donation. It's a bit like giving blood. So they give you an injection for a few days before the donation occurs. That stimulates your body to produce stem cells, and then you go into a hospital as almost like an outpatient. It's like a day patient thing where you sit down and you'll be hooked up with a line in an arm. They'll take the blood with the stem cells in it out. They filter those out, and the remaining blood comes back into your arm. It takes about 3 or 4 hours, and that's it. So it's a bit like giving blood. Those stem cells are then given to the person that would receive that needs it. So it's done at the time that the donation's needed for that person. So it's not something they can do and store. They have to do it timed with them. And that's done for 90% of the time. So for all those donations, all those donations that are required, 90% of the time that's the way they do it. There is still about 10% of the time where they actually need to take physically a little bit of bone marrow, and that's a slightly different thing. That's actually an inpatient thing where you actually have to have a general anaesthetic and then take a piece of bone marrow from one of your bones. I think it's your hip bone. But that's something that else they do. There's no cost involved for all of this, so if you ever got matched, there's no costs to you other than your time, and that's it. The other way you can help, so we talked about getting swabbed, that's fairly simple. That then gives them a DNA that they need to be able to match you. And the other way that you can help, of course, is just to donate. So you can either donate and cover the cost of having the swabbing analysis done, or you could just donate anyway. There are a set of kind of eligibility criteria that they ask you to go through. I think they're looking for people that are between 18 and 55. That's one of the easiest things to know. But outside of that, it's really just a little bit of kind of medical history around whether you've got anything to do with your blood that might exclude you. And what kind of impact does it have? Well, it literally can save people's lives. So without the stem cell donors, the treatments that are effective for blood cancers would be much reduced. So that it's virtually essential for a lot of people. And I just wanted to play this video. It's a bit of a kind of spoiler alert, but it's a bit of a tearjerker. So, but it really brings home the impact it can have. This was from last year, where there was a boy that needed actually in this case it's a bone marrow donation, but it is effectively the same register and the same thing that would happen, and it kind of goes through his little story. So hopefully, with the wonders of IT, I'll get that.
How you doing, Rupert?
Good, thank you.
You alright?
Yeah.
Thank you. I would have done anything to swap places with him. If you've got that opportunity to provide the bone marrow that someone desperately needs, then you have to do that. It's the right thing to do. Ended up on the register because the girl I liked was in the queue.
I feel very lucky, and I can't believe that someone would do this for me. Come on, Rupert, last minute! He's a Superman.
I'll take that one.
So there. So yeah, I'm hoping. Obviously, you can see that it has a big impact on people's lives. And so what I do is I just urge you, if you think about that, and if it's something that you want to do, as I say, it's really simple. You just go on a quick web form that you can do on their website. It doesn't cost you anything. You can donate if you want to, but you don't have to. They don't ask for any money. They'll send you a kit, swab, done. And then if you ever got the lucky chance to be that person that could donate to somebody, you literally could save their life. So thanks very much. That was it. That was a very short presentation. I will do, but obviously bear in mind I'm not medically qualified. So I'll try.
I just add a bit, Stuart. I mean, I've been on that register for probably 15 years, and I've never had a phone call. So just because you go on the register does not mean that you're going to have to do
absolutely, and I think that's a good point, Spike. The matching rate is very low. I think it's something like 2 to 3% or something per year of people on the register actually get matched. It's got to be done on DNA, and if you just happen to never get matched up, there's a chance that you might never get asked. So yeah, it's not as if you'd be called on time and time again. I mean, you may never get matched with somebody, but if you're not on there, then you don't offer that chance to somebody really. Yeah, thanks, Mike. And in fact, there was a few people that when I sent this out actually came back and said, "Oh yeah, I'm already on the register." Yeah, really good stuff. And so there is but I personally, I was completely unaware of this and the significance it played in potentially battling blood cancer. So it was like, oh wow, if I'd have known that, I'd have probably registered years ago, but I just didn't know about it existing. So I just wanted to,
So Stuart, I mean, just to reiterate what we were talking about this afternoon and how easy it is to actually help if you were lucky enough to be selected. It's a needle in the arm, pump some blood out, pump it back in again.
Correct.
It's
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
invasive or anything difficult.
No, and it's not
really
like
simple
it's
thing.
not like a regular thing like giving blood. So even if you, I mean, some people that's not for them, but something like this, it's likely to be maybe once in a lifetime that you might get asked. There's a possibility you might get matched more than once, but I mean that's probably really, really rare.
Somebody that's done 250 blood donations plus, it's nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
You might be there for a couple of hours.
Yeah. And just, as I'd say, just reiterate just how much a massive impact it can have on somebody else. They don't release any information about who the donor is for at least, I think it's 2 years until afterwards. And then it's a choice as to whether or not you want to. But then obviously it's potential that you could potentially meet up with somebody that you, as those two guys there did in the film. But yeah. Okay. Thanks everyone. Thanks very much for listening.
Thanks, Stuart.
Yeah, thanks everybody online as well.